Good afternoon and thanks for joining us. Here's a look at some of your headlines. Several police officers are injured in a shooting in San Antonio. We'll have the latest updates on the suspect and the condition of those officers. Plus, more troops are headed to the southern border. We'll tell you what we're seeing as security tightens in the wake of President Trump's executive orders.
And temperatures around the state of Texas still in the 40s, 50s, and even 30s in a few spots. How cold will it be tonight? And what about the rain chances for the weekend? More coming up in your first warning weather.
In-depth, investigative. This is KXAN News at Noon.
7 officers in the hospital today, according to the San Antonio chief of police. This is after a shooting there. Police initially said the shooting injured 4 officers, but that increased overnight to 7. Now, this all took place in North San Antonio in the Stone Oak area. Police Chief Bill McManus says officers were responding to a suicide in progress call right around 9 last night. A family member called police expressing concern. The chief says the man had previous run-ins with officers.
Suspect had 3 arrests on January 18th, 2 for assaultive offenses and 1 for DWI. He was out on bond at the time.
Investigators found the suspect dead, and he had previously, kept himself inside this apartment. He refused to come out. Police say that the suspect has not been identified, but they are describing him as a man in his 40s. It's not known whether he died from gunfire from responding officers or if it was self-inflicted. A 16-year-old girl is dead after a shooting at a Nashville high school. According to police, the shooter confronted the victim in the school cafeteria and opened fire yesterday, hitting and killing that teenager. Police say the shooter then killed himself. Another student sustained a graze wound and was treated at a local hospital. You could really hear the emotions from parents as they waited to pick up their kids.
Parents are waiting to pick up their babies, and you send them to school thinking they're safe. And just to be that parent where you see everybody receiving their child except for you, I just couldn't imagine, and that's what was going through my head.
That investigation is ongoing. Nashville police are searching that shooter's home, so we'll continue to update you on this story as it develops.
First warning weather.
All right, we want to give you a live look outside back here at home in Austin. A gorgeous day out there, but Freddie has been telling me that the blue skies that I am enjoying so much today, the cloudless skies, actually are going to do something a little funky for our temperatures.
It's not going to work in our favor, Avery. I know we love the sunshine, but at night, all that daytime heating, gone, unfortunately. Take a look at what we hit yesterday. 53 degrees as a high, with our normal at around 63 degrees. Our record is actually 84, so we're well far away from the record, but 10 degrees away from the normal average temperature. And these highs that we've been seeing are pretty much gone by the early morning hours because that daytime heating just goes thanks to very little cloud coverage, very little winds, and the winds all coming in from the north, making it much colder. The other thing I want to point your eyes to is that sunset, 5:59 p.m. That's the last 5 p.m. that we have for sunset. Tommy House will be joining us in just a bit to talk a bit more about sunsets overall. Current temperatures right now, 52 in Austin, 49 in Bastrop still, 53 as you get out towards Flatonia, 53 in San Marcos, and 40s as you reach out towards Fredericksburg, Mason, San Saba, Lampasas, Burnet, and Marble Falls. Here's a look at our satellite and radar at this point. It's what everyone's seeing, which is just clear skies out there. Beautiful look from Lake Travis at this point. Overall, we are expecting for cooler than normal temperatures to go and then warmer than normal temperatures to settle in one more time as we get farther into next week. I'm going to be discussing not only the colder nights that we're going to have, but the sunshine that we're getting, the weekend forecast, and your rain chances. There's a lot to talk about. We'll have all of that coming up in your first warning weather.
Thanks so much, Freddie. President Donald Trump's latest executive order could have major impacts here in Texas. The latest says it, quote, suspends the physical entry of aliens engaged in an invasion of the United States through the southern border, end quote. Video coming out of South Texas shows migrants being loaded on and off buses around the border area. The order allows a number of departments to, quote, take all necessary action to immediately remove illegal aliens across the southern border. borders of the United States. This comes alongside the shuttering of the CBP One app. Migrants use that app to schedule immigration hearing appointments. Meanwhile, more troops are also heading to the Texas border. Officials say the Pentagon could be sending as many as 1,500. These steps have the support of Texas Senior Senator John Cornyn.
I think it's a new day, and we're going to see a whole lot less illegal immigration at the border thanks to President Trump.
These troops are expected to be used to support Border Patrol agents with logistics, transportation, and the construction of barriers. It's still unknown, though, which troops or units will be going. Congress also passed the Laken-Riley Act. This was yesterday. It requires the detainment of unauthorized migrants accused of theft or of violent crimes. It also allows state attorneys general to sue the federal government for failing to enforce immigration law. This law was named after a Georgia nursing student who was murdered last year by a Venezuelan man in the country illegally. This marks the first legislation that President Donald Trump can sign. One of President Trump's federal orders allows immigration officers to go into schools or churches to arrest suspected migrants. Officials in El Paso say they will assist federal law enforcement officers when they are called upon. They say they will follow federal law, but they also say they do not have the resources to actually enforce immigration law. The El Paso County judge worries about how federal officials might interpret how local officials are responding.
You know, as an elected official, it's really difficult because we're being told that if we impede in any way that we could be placed in jail, and without knowing what do they mean by impede. Is it making a comment in a public forum?
Some other reaction here. New Mexico Attorney General Raul Torres told schools, places of worship, and healthcare providers to balance legal compliance without giving up safe and welcoming environments. He also told them to remind people of their Fourth Amendment right to protection against unreasonable search and seizure. As President Donald Trump moves forward with several of these overhauls of the U.S. immigration system, House Republicans are investigating what they say were failures by the Biden administration to secure the southern border. Today's hearing, led by House Republicans, is aimed at what the GOP says will be a restoring of immigration enforcement in the country. Yesterday, House Republicans called that hearing to order, saying they have a mandate to fix the immigration system. Those lawmakers laid out what they believe are the Biden administration's failures, as we said. And during Biden's time in office, they say illegal border crossings hit record levels, at times 10,000 migrants a week crossing the border illegally. Those numbers have fallen in recent months following the Biden White House crackdown on illegal crossings in mid to late 2024. President Trump has already issued, as we've mentioned, a few of them, sweeping executive orders aimed at stopping illegal crossings. He's also limited ways that migrants can apply for asylum, and he is moving to reinstate his Remain in Mexico policy. Yesterday, Republicans laid out the immigration problems they believe are facing the country. Some Democrats agreed changes need to happen.
Time and again, we were told by the Biden administration and congressional Democrats that our border was secure. We were told there was no national security or public safety risk. We were told the administration could do nothing more to prevent illegal immigration. But Americans knew better, and they finally got tired of feeling unsafe in their own towns.
It is broadly agreed that our current immigration system is broken. We need to make necessary reforms and then vigorously enforce the law. We need to provide the resources necessary to secure the border and provide that only those who are permitted entry to the United States are, in fact, so admitted.
House Republicans say there will be future hearings on the topic. Turning now to some more national news, a federal appeals court hears arguments about a case that Texas is also keeping its eye on. Louisiana right now requires public schools to display the 10 Commandments in all public classrooms. In November, a federal judge ruled that law was overtly religious and unconstitutional. The state appealed, and today the Fifth Circuit is hearing this case. An attempt to pass a similar law in Texas actually failed in the House back in 2023. Speaking of our state capitol, the Texas House and Senate are laying out how they want to spend your tax dollars. The Speaker of the House calls the two versions of the budget substantially similar. Now, these are just proposals, but they both call for about $1 billion in vouchers to pay for private school tuition. There's also $6.5 billion set aside for border security and $402 million for new Texas state troopers. This is just the beginning of the budget process, we know, and we are prepared for things to change.
This is a first draft. Like I said, I don't want to say it's a blank slate. It is a slate with a lot of details in it, but there's more to be done. Just because it's in there doesn't mean it'll end up in the end budget, and just because it's not in there doesn't mean it'll never make it.
Both of the proposals will now go to their respective committees in the House and Senate. Going in depth for you here, the Texas legislature has nearly $24 billion in surplus. It's close to what they had in 2023. That session, lawmakers had a $32 billion surplus. They spent that money in large part on infrastructure and property tax cuts. Firefighters are still battling wildfires in California. The latest as more fires popped up overnight and even into the morning. Plus, preparing for extreme weather is critical. Coming up, we're going to show you ways to make sure you and your family are prepared. We know it is best to be prepared before severe weather hits, and our weather team does a great job of keeping us ready. Tommy House spoke with the National Weather Service about all the ways that you can stay informed.
I'm here with Paul Yora, warning coordination meteorologist from the National Weather Service in San Antonio and Austin. So how can viewers stay prepared during the severe weather season?
And the one thing is to truly be weather aware. And that's a very simple term, but it takes a lot to be weather aware. Part of that is to have multiple ways of getting weather warnings. A no-weather radio is still a great way. Obviously, most people have cell phones nowadays. So make sure you have ways of getting weather alerts and weather warnings on your smartphones. There are typically notifications. Hopefully you have not turned those off when it comes to that sort of notification. But keeping your phone charged, especially at nighttime, if you know there's going to be a severe weather event overnight. And then, of course, practice with your family where a safe place is, not only at the house, but then also with your colleagues at work. Make sure you have an area to go that is the safest place of the building where you're currently at to protect yourself, especially if we have strong winds outside or we have any sort of thing like a tornado coming through, because you need to be able to kind of keep safe in those sort of very short time frames.
So specific ways viewers can get notifications and stay alert, perhaps an app or text messaging?
Yeah, so of course, no weather radio is a great way of doing that. It's been around for decades, broadcast 24/7. Some of the newest ways, of course, is going through mass notification. Typically, every city or county has a way of getting mass notification. The more popular one around the Austin area is called warncentraltexas.org, where you can sign up for your location and get weather warnings that way, as well as other warnings and messages from the city and county. The FEMA app is also a great way of saving 5 locations and then getting National Weather Service weather watches and warnings. But of course, our media partners have apps too. And so make sure you sign up on any sort of, I would say, a good source of weather information, a trusted source of weather information, and use those apps, because the weather warnings and watches that we issue will get funneled through those apps.
Good tips, Tommy.
Really
it's
good
us.
Tips, yeah.
You guys are the source
I'm
for
the
the
best.
information.
I know. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, I really liked that
It is
one.
insightful, though. Oh, why am I looking at this camera? There's two right next to each other. Severe weather is coming up.
To be fair, we dragged Tommy over here. Usually
I'm not
just
supposed
Freddie
to
and I
do these.
yapping. And
The first time they finally let me in the shot, I messed it up.
no, you're doing great.
Yeah,
You're
thanks.
normally
Thank
hard
you.
at work over there. You don't know.
This is the hardest part of the job. Is there's which camera am I looking at? That's
not all the very
Oh no,
intense
you got the
predictions.
science.
No.
This is tough.
This show's going off the rails. Let's bring it back in, though. Let's talk about what's happening across the area. Current temperatures right now, 51 as you get farther down towards Lockhart. 52 in Austin, 49 in Marble Falls, 50 degrees in Llano, 45 in Mason, and 48 degrees as you reach out towards Fredericksburg. Clear skies at this point for pretty much everyone out there. Zoom out a bit more cloud coverage down towards the south in the Rio Grande Valley and Corpus Christi and Kingsville, and then some cloud coverage as you get out towards the Panhandle. But as we look at your after-school forecast and temperatures there, about 55 degrees by drop-off, and for the early evening, we're looking at about 48 degrees with mostly clear skies. That's not going to change. It's going to continue through today and leading into tonight and into tomorrow as well. And while we love the sunshine, as we get into the overnight hours, all that daytime heating is going to go because there's nothing to hold it back. And we're expecting temperatures to drop pretty tremendously as we get into tonight. 29 degrees overall, especially with the light winds out there. Oh, that'll make everything much, much chillier. Now, as we look over the next couple of days, pretty much staying around 57 to 59 degrees. No real big changes all the way until we get to about Tuesday. And this is actually helped out by a front that's coming in, but not the strongest front in the world. It'll just do a wind shift, but that's pretty much it. As we get out towards Tuesday and Wednesday, temperatures back up above average, 66 to 67. Average is 63 degrees, so we should be adding back some red days there. As we look over the next few days, getting into the weekend, no snow whatsoever, but we could see some showers pick up as we get Saturday into Sunday, and that should continue through Monday into Tuesday and into Wednesday as well. Monday, not as much, but Sunday and Wednesday seem like they're going to be the best chances of rain. All that moisture coming in from the Gulf of Mexico, and that's really going to help us out. So look at our temperatures. 55 on Thursday, 58 on Friday, 59 on Saturday. Look at the change, too, on the as far as what it's going to be like. Partly cloudy today, mostly sunny as we get into Friday. Partly cloudy with the chance of rain by Saturday evening. By Sunday, we're looking at a 50% chance of rain there. Monday, things should start clearing out a bit, and then we'll see the return of rain one more time as we get into Tuesday and Wednesday for the Lunar New Year. Let's go ahead and send it over to Tommy House right now with a bit more. Tommy, what's going on?
Hey, Freddie, so we've been talking about how dry it's been. We only had one pretty good day rainfall-wise. That was during the second week of the month. Since then, relatively dry. A few hundredths of an inch for the winter weather a few days ago. Just under 9/10 at Camp Mabry in Austin for the month. We're about an inch behind on where we should be for this time of month throughout the January. All right, drought comparison. 4 months ago, really wasn't a lot to talk about drought-wise. So August into September, we started to see the hottest fall on record, and that increased as well with some dry conditions. Now, as of today, the latest update at 7:30 this morning, that level 3 out of 4 extreme drought for Hayes and Travis and Blanco County and most of the hill country, and that's severe drought. And the exceptions would be east of Rockdale and LaGrange as you get closer and closer to the Houston coastline where they have a little bit more rain. In terms of when we get our next showers, Freddie talked about it. Precipitation is relatively dry until Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. And hopefully we can soak up as much rain as possible. We're keeping the widely scattered rain chances through the middle half of next week. And at the First Warning Weather Center, we're thinking up to an inch of rain is likely.
Tommy, thank you. Reproductive rights here in the country continue to be at the center of the conversation for lawmakers in D.C. We'll tell you about the push and push back around a federal abortion ban. President Donald Trump promised on the campaign trail to veto a federal abortion ban, but Democrats warn there are already efforts underway to get the country closer to that point. Washington correspondent Jesse Teneur reports on the latest GOP efforts.
Leave it to the states, out the window.
On what would have been the 52nd anniversary of Roe v. Wade, Democrats say Republicans are still attacking reproductive rights even after the U.S. Supreme Court struck down the law.
Mr. President Trump, this is the national level. You're already involved, and you're breaking your promises.
House and Senate Republicans are pushing a bill this week to require healthcare providers to try to save the life of an infant in the rare case the baby is born alive during or after an attempted abortion.
It's a simple bill.
Those innocent lives deserve to be protected.
But Washington Democrat Senator Patty Murray stressed it is already illegal in the U.S. to kill a baby that is born alive.
Republicans are still peddling debunked lies about how abortion works and the people who get them.
More than 140 congressional Republicans also sent a letter to President Donald Trump asking him to expand on what they call life-affirming pro-life policies.
The next step, I hope, is for President Trump to issue executive orders that will put back in place his policies from his first term.
Missouri Republican Senator Josh Hawley signed the letter and recently introduced a bill to defund Planned Parenthood and other abortion providers.
They should not be able to get taxpayer money to do that.
The Trump administration also removed the reproductive rights page from the official White House website. In Washington, I'm Jessie Tenor.
Coming up, many new mothers may run into problems with more than just physical health. We're going to have a look at how mental health can be affected postpartum. Plus, one of Austin's busiest roads could be in for a big change. The plans for a more walkable Congress Avenue and the pictures of what it might look like.
In-depth, investigative. This is KXAN News at Noon.
Good afternoon, everybody, and thanks for joining us. Your time now is 12:30. We want to let you know today is Maternal Health Awareness Day. It's meant to bring attention to the struggles expecting and new moms face. It is more than just about physical health. It's also about the importance of mental health, a conversation that's been happening more and more in recent years. And Barrett Tryon joining us in the studio. Barrett, there's some sobering statistics behind this day.
Absolutely, a conversation we definitely should be having. In fact, 1 in 7 new moms face postpartum depression. However, doctors say many women do not try to get treatment for it. That is a huge reason why this day was started almost a decade ago. Doctors say nearly 80% of maternal deaths are considered preventable. In fact, nearly half of maternal deaths happen between a week and a year postpartum, and that is not during delivery itself. Physical signs, things like headaches, chest pains, and heavy bleeding after delivery are often just brushed off, many times considered as just normal post-pregnancy behavior. Dr. Efrat Lamondre says the U.S. is way behind other countries when it comes to making sure that moms are safe.
The U.S. has one of the highest maternal mortality rate among high-income countries, with Black women facing 3 to 4 times higher risk of complications. We are way behind Canada and the UK. And with all our resources, moms in America shouldn't be dying at these rates.
All right, so what can we do? The doctor says one thing is building a strong support system before and after delivery that can help with managing stress and even reducing complications. Avery.
Barrett, such an important conversation. Going in depth here, when the Texas Maternal Mortality Committee reviewed death cases from last year, it announced it would be skipping over death reviews for the last 2 years. This means that maternal mortality rates won't be fully examined from the time period directly after federal abortion laws were overturned. You'll remember that was in June of 2022. The committee's chair said the reason is due to how extensive case reviews are, and that in order to properly review the most recent cases, they say it's necessary. Now, our KXAN Investigates team dug into the number of women who died in Texas from pregnancy and delivery complications and why there is some trouble with that data. You can read about that and you can hear many of these mothers' stories. Just look in the investigative section of KXAN.com for our Mothers Erased series. We want to take you now to a live look from California. We have been following this view from our sister station KTLA, giving us this aerial view in California. There are several fires that they have been tracking this morning. One in the Hughes fire, we're going to tell you some more details about in just a moment here. We do believe that is where this chopper is over right now, but we have also been following another fire that sparked this morning, the Laguna fire. That's actually very close to a CSU campus branch that's being evacuated there. So as you can see, a fluid situation with our sister station's cameras trying to keep track as multiple new fires have sparked overnight and into this morning. We'll continue to check in on this situation in California now. We know that the crews there are battling these fires. We mentioned the massive Hughes fire that broke out early Wednesday. It's now spread to more than 9,000 acres, threatening homes and lives. NBC's Liz Croix has the latest.
The all-too-familiar glow of flames quickly spreading over huge swaths of land just north of burn-scarred Los Angeles. And a new brush fire popping up overnight in the city near the famed Getty Center, sparking evacuation warnings as strong winds fan the flames of the Hughes fire, which consumed more than 10,000 acres in just a matter of hours, and officials say has been very difficult to contain.
The weather is what's predominantly driving this fire, and it's spread right now.
This is a fast-moving fire. It's been growing acres by the minute. You can see the flames here. They've been coming down the hillside. It is all driven by these strong winds, and this is what officials have been warning about and worried about all week.
Massive plumes of smoke turning the sky black. Homes, a detention center, and schools in the town of Castaic evacuated.
How worried are you about all this?
Very. Obviously, we've never had to go to this extent to protect ourselves from fire.
Students in the middle of the school day forced to flee to safety. Others preparing to evacuate but staying as long as they can to protect their homes and property. As nearby, Los Angeles is still reeling from the massive wildfires earlier this month that killed 27 people and left entire neighborhoods devastated. Now, firefighters getting back in the air and on the ground to battle the new blazes.
First warning weather.
Our hearts are just so with them in California, and we feel so lucky today to look outside to just a beautiful picture from our Austonian camera in downtown Austin. Gorgeous, gorgeous weather we're seeing. It is a shame, Freddie, that we have to be here in the studio and can't be outside enjoying it. When are we going to get to do that live outside weather forecast?
Oh, we should just be live outside all the time, especially with beautiful weather like this. But tonight, it's expected for temperatures to drop down one more time. Take a look at your Friday morning forecast. 19 degrees tonight in Fredericksburg, Mason 22 in Llano, 23 in Marble Falls, and 29 degrees as you reach out towards Austin, San Marcos at a 24 tonight, and Giddings at 26. Here's a live look at the Circuit of the Americas out in southeast Austin, and this is the conditions we'll see everywhere. Pretty much just blue skies, sunny, and a few clouds that have been popping up here and there. They're expected to pick up as the night goes on. 52 in Austin, 53 in San Marcos, and Fredericksburg at 48 degrees, Georgetown at 52, and Bastrop expected to be at about 54 degrees. If you're going to be traveling over the next couple of days, this is what you can expect if you're heading down to the Rio Grande Valley. 59 for Friday, and then up into the 70s as we get out towards Saturday and Sunday, with a chance of rain on Sunday itself. If you're heading out towards Houston, temperatures there 50 to start off, and then 59 by Saturday, 64 as we get out towards Sunday. If you're heading out towards Dallas, 57 on Friday, 55 on Sunday, on Saturday, and 53 on Sunday. Chance of rain there. And then El Paso, as temperatures there start off in the 40s on Friday and then move into the 60s as we get out towards Saturday and Sunday. No rain for them as we get out towards Sunday itself. So, coming up, we're going to be talking about letting all this sunshine in for the next couple of days, your weekend forecast, and some weekend events that I want to talk to you about, because there's a lot going on, and I have a few of them that I want to share with you. That's in your first warning weather.
Freddie, thank you. The city will continue its cold weather sheltering through at least today. It says all public library branches will also serve as warming centers for the time being too. But with most of the snow melted and the ice gone, we wanted to check in. The Austin Travis County Emergency Operations Center did shut down its official winter weather response. Austin Energy reported minimal impacts, and Austin Water says it did see a number of water main breaks, but it was able to fix those within a few hours. The EOC says Austin Travis County EMS responded to 35 cold-related illness incidents between last Sunday and yesterday, and that includes those 2 people who died. Turning now, one of Austin's busiest roads could change. We'll get an update later today and a glimpse at what a more walkable Congress Avenue could look like. Austin's Mobility Committee is set to hear an update on what's being called the Congress Avenue Urban Design Initiative. The latest movement on this initiative was back in December. The city teased sharing the next steps for the revamp in the new year, and we are bracing for that update to come today. If this moves forward, the design initiative would transform Congress Avenue from Riverside up to 11th Street to the tune of $130 million. The renderings you were just seeing a few moments ago were showing a little bit more of what could be. It includes a plaza between 7th and 11th Streets. The city has also been collecting feedback from people since October. The results of that feedback likely to be a big part of today's update from the Urban Transportation Commission. The commission's recommendations our team actually found through the meeting's agenda page, and it shared how much traffic this stretch of Congress sees. That's 12,000 pedestrians and nearly 500 scooter trips every day. We know this area is just so busy, but there's some numbers for you to tell you just how much. The commission is set to meet in just about half an hour at 1 o'clock at City Hall this afternoon. You can find more information about how all this is being paid for in our story on KXAN.com by the wonderful Kelsey Thompson, who's got all of our transportation needs. Turning now, a NASA lunar mission is gathering critical data for future moon missions. Straight ahead, we'll tell you how Central Texas is involved.
Hi, I'm Karen Purcell back with bestreviews.com. Be sure to take out your phone and scan that QR code. Get ready to scan, shop, and save. We're talking winter beauty bestsellers, something that I know a lot about, as does my teenage daughter. The first product is by True Skin. This is their vitamin C serum. This is a very high efficacy, potent serum that you're gonna just really brighten and glow your skin. You're gonna take 2 or 3 drops, put it in your hand, and sort of pat it all over your skin. It's gonna help reduce fine lines and wrinkles. It's gonna get rid of those pesky dark spots that I know I always fight with, especially at my age. It has a beautiful hyaluronic acid as well, so it's gonna work in various different ways, especially in the winter when we know that our skin sort of looks parched or dry. You're gonna be able to put that glow right back into it. So I love that product. The second product is by Laneige, and I really love this. This is their lip sleeping mask. This is a bestseller amongst all the girls, all the teens, and I do find myself kind of going into my teen girls' room and finding it myself. This is something that you apply in at night. You're gonna put on both bottom and your top lip, and then you're gonna wake up with just really beautiful, subtle, soft lips, especially we know in the winter when we know that chapped skin and dry lips are, you know, certainly in the colder climates. This is gonna help it. It also comes with a lip brush, so that's really great. And finally, by Sol de Janeiro, this is their body mist spray. This is a huge bestseller. There's hundreds of thousands of units that have been sold, and all the teenage girls clamor for this. This one has notes of pistachio, salted caramel, and vanilla. And to use it, it's really simple. You can actually use it all over your body. So you can use it on your pulse points, of course, but then you can really create your signature scent by, you know, using it in your hair, on all over your body. And it's just very subtle. It's a fragrance that people know that you have, but they're gonna ask you about. So that's really great. So let's take a look at our best sellers in the beauty department. We have the True Skin. This is the vitamin C serum. We have the Laneige lip sleeping mask, and we have the Sol de Janeiro body mist. Be sure to take out your phone, scan that QR code, and get ready to scan, shop, and save.
You can find the best reviews epic discounts on KXAN.com. Just pull down the menu under the Marketplace tab and click on Epic Discounts.
Welcome back, everybody. We are showing you a view from the top of our KXAN weather camera. You can see those sun rays peeking through, and that is what we are seeing today, giving us a bit of warmth, even though we've still got some cold sticking around. Coming up in your full forecast, Freddie is going to break down just how cold it's going to get tonight. Well, there's a new lunar mission built right here in Central Texas at Firefly Aerospace, collecting data that could help NASA send astronauts to the moon. Texas Tech actually helped with some equipment and research on the Blue Ghost 1 lunar lander, including a drill called LISTER that stands for Lunar Instrumentation for Subsurface Thermal Exploration with Rapidity.
LISTER is a pneumatic drill that is drilling down into the lunar subsurface using compressed air to evacuate the regolith, as opposed to, you know, a drill with a drill bit.
Mike Selby with NASA says they hope to learn more about the moon's composition and how the moon formed. The lander is scheduled to reach the lunar surface on Sunday, March 2nd. It's got to make its trip there.
I would love, if it's possible, as I get older, not right now, I would love to go to the moon.
Ooh.
I would love to.
Send Freddie to the moon.
Yeah,
love
that sounds
to
like
go.
something from Despicable Me.
You know, if someone out there is watching one day and is a future astronaut or works with some type of science, I would love for you to invite me. Anyway, I'm being rushed along. Let's go to Weekend Watch. Let's talk about some of the events that are going on right now. WWE Friday Night SmackDown, that's happening Friday night. Apologies, I thought it was Friday. This is going to be at the Moody Center in Austin. Cody Rhodes, Bianca Belair, Kevin Owens, and so many more are expected to be there. The kickoff will be at 7 p.m. I just saw that they just released that LA Knight. If you're an LA Knight fan, he will be here as well. Kickoff will be at 7 p.m., but they encourage you to get there a little early because you never know. There may be some dark matches and tickets are still available. And then a little bit of a tidbit here. Saturday night's main event will actually be in San Antonio on Saturday itself. So lots of wrestling going on this weekend. Also, Lord of the Rings Day, that's going to be at Book People this Sunday, January 26th from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. It's going to be on Lamar Boulevard in Austin. They're going to have a scavenger hunt, donuts, trivia, Dungeons & Dragons campaign, and they want you to be part of all of this. Other than the Dungeons & Dragons part, everything else is absolutely free for the entire family, and you're encouraged to cosplay as well. So make sure you guys join them for that. If you want more information on this and anything else that's happening over the weekend, visit our website, KXAN.com. I have an article on there that you could check out, or our Facebook page. We actually have a little live blog that I do with Esmeralda Zamora. This weekend itself is going to be perfect to stay indoors for Saturday and Sunday because we're getting some rain back. You may want to be outside. Don't worry. If you're having an outdoor event on Saturday, do not worry about it. You're going to be fine. Sunday, you may run into some showers and storms out there, so just keep that in mind. Right now, though, it's mostly clear. We zoom out a bit more. The same thing for pretty much everyone. The only rain that we're picking up is down towards South Padre Island and the Rio Grande Valley. Current temperatures right now, 48 in Fredericksburg, 50 degrees in Dripping Springs, 52 in Austin, 52 in Bastrop, and 53 degrees in San Marcos. Notice that the temperatures are only going to top off at around the mid-50s, and then we're back down again as we get into the early morning hours. By 3 a.m., below freezing, and we'll stay below freezing one more time. That's all thanks to a front that came through. Drier air, but it gave us a nice little push of the cooler air, too. So overall, without the cloud coverage, that's going to allow for all that daytime heating to go, and then we're going to be left with mostly clear skies for tonight and for Friday night going into Saturday as well. Tonight, temperatures should be dropping down to about 29, and then if you're out towards the hill country, down into the teens one more time. Rain chances do return once again Saturday, going into Sunday and Monday, and even Tuesday and Wednesday as well. In fact, here's a look at your 7-day forecast. We're looking at 55 for Thursday today, 58 for Friday, 59 on Saturday. By Sunday, around 57 degrees, and then we expect temperatures to start moving to about 59 on Monday, 66 on Tuesday, and 67 by Wednesday for Lunar New Year. Let's go ahead and send it over to Tommy House with an in-depth look at jet streams.
Yeah, thanks, Freddie. We've been talking about this pattern change that we've had when we had below freezing temperatures and highs in the 30s, and then now all of a sudden next week we're back into the 60s. All thanks to the jet stream. We have 2 jet streams in the lower 48 that handle most of our big weather events. Subtropical down towards south of us, toward the valley, and then farther up north, the polar jet stream. And both of these bring big implications to our forecast throughout the winter months and also through the summer. Here's how it could look with an example set up. Milder air beneath the polar jet stream and to the north of it. It steers down and delivers some colder air that's going to be arriving there. I should be saying cold. Here's how it looks big picture across the next few days. We have a dip in the jet stream to the northeast. Colder air is in play for places like New England. Upper level low that's going to be across the southwest, and that's going to be steering us some warmer weather as well as rain chances returning. So big picture is across the next 7 days in Texas, rain chances starting Saturday for about 5 to 7 days consecutively on top of that cloud cover, and temperatures returning to the 60s.
Tommy, a piece of U.S. history was discovered in an unlikely location. Coming up, we'll tell you how much it could go for at auction. And in case you want to tune in to a little TV tonight, at 7, it's Law & Order, followed by Law & Order SVU at 8, Found at 9, and then, of course, join us right back here for KXAN News at 10. Welcome back, everybody. A hidden gem was discovered in a very unlikely spot. A person found a document responsible for the framework of the United States inside a book at a New York library sale. Okay, in the 1700s, New Yorker Samuel Jones wrote this message. It aimed to convince colleagues at the state level to approve the U.S. Constitution at the national level. It includes a rare full-length handwritten version of the Declaration of Independence, and it led to the ratification of documents that are the foundation of American government to this day. The document is now up for auction, and it is expected to go for $2 to $3 million.
Why would it be up for auction? Send this off to a museum.
Yeah, we got to get this somewhere to be protected. Hopefully, whoever the purchaser is, that's their plans. We'll see.
That's what we hope overall. So we have now passed the holidays, but we have some other dates that we're looking forward to. I'd like to share them with you if that's okay.
Oh, give me your calendar.
Yeah, let's go ahead and take a look at your holiday countdown or your important date calendar. Groundhog Day, while I'm not a fan of the little groundhog.
Your enemy.
It's my enemy. It's 10 days away. Valentine's Day, only 22 days away, so I hope you're making your plans, Avery. President's Day at 25 days. Mardi Gras at 40 days. And St. Patrick's Day is 53 days away. Interesting. I like seeing some of those.
Lots to look forward to. We love it.
Yeah, it's weird that I'm saying some of those dates already because it felt like we were just talking about Christmas. Anyway, we'll take a look at your 7-day forecast. 55 for today, 58 for tomorrow, 59 as we get out towards Saturday. Sunday, 57 degrees. So it's a little bit of an up and down here, but by the time we get to next Tuesday and Wednesday, above average, 66 to 67. The rain chances come back. Don't worry, it's not going to be a complete washout, but at least we'll get a decent amount of showers here and there to help us out.
Riding that Texas winter weather roller coaster.
That's what it's like around this time of year. We have this up and down, but you know, thankfully, this is a time of year when we can do some outdoor activities. We can enjoy, we can relax, and not melt when we take 2 steps outside of the house at this point.
Especially when it's so beautiful and sunny like it is today. Freddie, thanks for tracking all of it for us. We have more news and weather coming up for you in just about 30 minutes right here. And of course, you can always track all of it online at KXAN.com. Thanks for joining us.